Seth Gross, one of the savviest, smartest, most tactical wrestlers in America. No two matches are ever really the same with Seth Gross.
No, that's why he's such a treat to watch. He'll throw all sorts of stuff that you've never seen before, and all of a sudden he's hitting it like it's no big deal.
Front headlock early on here for Seth Gross. Seth wants to get to that. The right hand of Marcus Blaze puts on that 2-on-1. He can throw that near leg in, but he's got great leg attacks as well. Good counter offense. He's the real deal. And for Marcus Blaze, it starts with his positioning, and that's really where it ends for a lot of his matches, because so few wrestlers can get in with any sort of regularity.
Yeah, we just saw one Penn State Nittany Lion true freshman make the finals. Now looking at an incoming recruit. A lot of NLWC singlets, although I think Marcus technically has just a Titan Mercury singlet.
First passivity warning goes to Blaze. Next one will put him on the clock. Gross, an NCAA champion in 2018 for South Dakota State.
Yeah, what a story for the Jackrabbits, getting a champ. Chris Bono at the helm, and he followed his coach to Wisconsin. And then COVID.
So Blaze going to go on the shot clock. He'll have 30 to score. A lot of level changes from Blaze. He's taken one really solid attack so far.
Yeah, Gross had a war with Austin DeSanto, which are all matches with Austin DeSanto.
Yeah.
But does have to take some of it out of you, although everybody here has been gone through some tough matches.
So one on the board for Seth Gross. Minute to go here. Very low scoring and, you know, kind of an exchangeless match so far.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned Blaze is all about positioning. That's a big part of his game, so not a huge surprise, but Gross, he's known to light up the scoreboard. So we'll see which one of those styles prevails.
And a customary warning against Seth Gross as we come to a close, towards a close in the first period.
Yeah, if we don't get a score in this last bit of the first period, expect Gross to go on the clock, although there's a nice attack by Blaze.
Close to one. Oh, walked the tightrope, did Seth Gross. He was close.
Yeah, and that's going to help cement in the Whistle's mind in the second period. Again, if we get no score here in the last 15 seconds, that it won't be long before Gross goes on the board.
High single now pulled up by Seth Gross. And that'll do it for the first period. 1-0 lead for Seth Gross. Thomas Gilman in the corner there.
I was going to mention Thomas, one of the biggest stories recently on the coaching side of things, going back to State College.
Coach Burnett there with Marcus.
So we'll see the second period is also where Gross did most of his damage against Austin DeSanto. DeSanto's so aggressive, Gross almost kind of let him get into positions, and then down in parterre, he showed off why he's so tricky and tactical and got a lot of counter scores. Took the match out of hand for Austin. We'll see how that plays out here, though. I think it's going to be a different kind of match.
Blaze had a 2-1 win I saw over NATO. Now he's in on a single leg, trying to come out the back door, switches to the other leg. Grabbing the ankle is Seth Gross. Blaze is in position to score. He's got the bottom leg now and almost brought that foot around. Still can't quite free it. That was close. Nothing yet. Oh, they blew it dead.
Ooh, that was Blaze staying absolutely determined on those legs, not allowing Gross to get to the tricky stuff.
And what stood out to me, honestly, is that he could not get Seth off his foot. I mean, Seth looked like that was the hard part of that entire exchange, was keeping that ankle, as Seth is going to now go on the shot clock. But a great attack, and if you're Marcus Blaze, you're feeling like, all right, I tested the waters, I got in a good attack, it was my position to score, and he was never threatened in a counter score.
No, like you said, it was Gross being the proverbial dog on a bone with that foot. It was so close to being free.
And now there's a 2-on-1 for Seth Gross, getting close, trying to climb that rope. Throws in that near leg, that's his position. And gonna get 2.
With 5 seconds on the shot clock, too.
So now, Marcus Blaze is gonna need multiple scores. And he says, hey, the clock's still running.
Yeah. So it could have been 1-1 with Blaze technically up on criteria with over half of the period left. Now it's going to be 3-0 Gross, but a minute 41 now to work for Blaze.
He ran him down last time. Can he do it again?
Yeah, this is where it's getting tense.
Oh, there's a drag. He's in deep. Now a standing single. You wonder if he fights hard for 2 here or just gets 1, knowing he needs multiple scores. Unless he can get a 4. And Seth is so good at getting that foot down.
Yeah.
He does it there. And Marcus says, all right, let me get my 1 now. Now a takedown for Marcus would put him in the lead by criteria or any sort of 2-point maneuver.
The longer the scrambles go, the more you think it tends to favor Gross. But Marcus is a different kind of guy.
I think Marcus can feel comfortable getting to a single backdoor finish. I think that's still his position. If he can get in again is the question. They're wrapping to that same side. And once again, looking for that 2-on-1, throwing that near leg in. Now we're coming up on 33 seconds to go. Marcus needs a takedown. And he's in deep. Back door. On that near ankle is Seth Gross. Picks him. Nothing yet. Now Gross in a great position to score. Shin Whizzer with 15 to go. Marcus Blaze is in trouble. He needs to get 2. Now comes out with a near leg in. That's not a score yet. He's got to get that leg out or get the turn. Takes him through. What's the call? 2. And now it's going to be 2 blue. And Gross going to win it at the buzzer. 2-2. Gross hangs on.
And you see Blaze punch himself a little bit there. He knew he was that close to moving on. But what a legendary scramble right there. We've seen a master at his craft at work there with Seth Gross with the match on the line, with Final X on the line, world team spot. Came through just enough to get it done.
Crazy finish there with Marcus selling out for the 2, but just put himself in a bad position to where, and Seth is so great with his hips, able to kind of float on top and get 2 of his own.